Welcome to this late 750 subscriber special, and today I'm going to be going over what kind of things I use to make my videos and some goals I have about this channel. Let's get started. So right here's my main camera, the Canon EOS RP, and I have the Sigma 10 to 20mm f5.6 lens right now mounted to it for like this shot over here, and the normal lens I use on it is this Canon 28 to 135mm f3.5 to 5.6 lens, and this is the lens I normally use on this camera. And over here I have a Canon EF 50mm f1.4 lens, and this is what I used in that video where I broke my PB. And what's mounted on it right now is the Deity D4 Mini, and I guess it's a nice little microphone that I've been using more recently. I initially bought this to use it with my phone, but now I've been using it on this ever since I figured out how to mount this on this camera. And since this thing also has a cold shoe on it, which this mounts to, I can also use it with my phone a lot more now. And I was originally using this microphone with my phone for the first few videos of this year. So yeah, but now since I can plug in this microphone to the camera, I can also use it with the camera, so I've been opting for this mostly. So this is my phone and my secondary camera, the iPhone 13 Pro. I mainly use the wide angle lens, but I think for the past few videos I used the ultra wide because I needed a wider field of view, and the normal wide lens, for the way I put it in front of my desk, it wasn't wide enough for it. So I tend to sometimes use the 0.5 lens, but most of the time I just use the normal 1x wide angle lens on this phone, and it works pretty good. And I think this is also the main camera I've been using for most of my vlogs on my vlog channel. Go check that out. But yeah, it was my main camera up until recently, where I'm starting to use this camera that I'm recording with right now. And yeah, I mean, this has been pretty good. There's definitely a bunch of things I could learn how to make the quality from this phone better, but I think right now I'm kind of doing really well with this. Obviously there's a lot of things I could probably do to make the quality better, and I'm gonna figure that out and try to do them. So the next thing I have here is something I bought recently because my phone's battery has been degrading. I got this a year ago, so that's something. I got this MagSafe battery pack. It's an ESR one, not the official Apple one, because the Apple one sucks, and I've been using it just a lot more recently. And I also got this case that also has the MagSafe ring on it, and yeah, hopefully I'm gonna be able to find that useful whenever I start vlogging, because when I'm gonna be using my phone for vlogging, it's gonna be eating up the battery, and I definitely need some way to charge my phone back up while vlogging as well. So I have this, and yeah, this will probably come into handy whenever I do my prom vlog, although I'm gonna probably be using the camera I'm recording with right now for that one on that channel. And this has also been the phone that has been recording all of my solves, with the exception of my just newest PB video I did, which I was using this one as a secondary view or whatever. But yeah, this is probably going to be what I'm using for recording the solves and also doing live streams, which I just kind of find it easier to set this up with this and this tripod. So going into the next one, I just threw this on my bed because I kind of didn't want to put it on my table. I got this small little tripod with flexible legs here, and it came by default with this smartphone mount, and it also has a cold shoe on it, like I mentioned earlier. And I've been using it a lot for this main camera recently because of the 1/4 inch mount on here, and I've also been using it for my phone a lot as well, because especially with filming solves, and some way to mount it, because way before I started doing YouTube, or actually considered doing YouTube seriously, I used to prop my phone up a bunch on those cubes, and my phone would fall off occasionally. So now that I actually got a tripod, one of these small ones, can actually film solves. Another thing I got recently is this grip for my camera, and since it also shares the same screw mount, I can also mount this on it and also use it with my phone. So I kind of find it really useful for vlogging as well, especially since whenever I'm doing face shots or whatever, I kind of want my face to be a certain distance away from the camera so it's able to focus, and also it kind of just makes my camera easier to hold whenever I do vlog. Although even while I'm using this camera, it's still kind of awkward to vlog with it because of just the size of this camera, so that definitely still is a bit of a problem with it, but otherwise it's pretty good. Over here I have some batteries, and then I have another one over here because the battery life on this camera is actually not that great. Like, it runs out pretty quickly, and I only have 2 chargers for this camera, and it's kind of awkward trying to charge multiple batteries at the same time since I only have 2, but I still end up getting it done anyway, and having multiple batteries in case one of the batteries runs out. And I have 2 chargers here because 3 of these, including this one that's being charged right now, are aftermarket batteries, and they can be charged with this normal Canon charger, and only one of them can actually be charged by the Canon charger because it's literally the only actual like official Canon one. So the next thing I have here is another tripod. It's the Manfrotto compact action tripod, and this came with a smartphone mount, but I obviously still have it, but that one, it's probably like not as good as this one because that one doesn't have a cold shoe on it. And I think before I didn't know how to mount the microphone on it, but now I feel like if I'm gonna use my phone to record videos again, I'm probably just gonna use this tripod mount with this tripod in the case I actually use it. Or obviously I could still, because I'm gonna do 2 different camera angles, I'm probably still just gonna mount it onto the camera, but I still have that option. And this is actually a lot taller, so if I wanted to, I could move the camera a bit higher in the case I actually want it to be higher. The next thing we have here is this iCross, or whatever it's called, tripod, and it doesn't go as high as the Manfrotto tripod, but although I don't really use this anymore, I did use it recently when I did the video about the competition as just some way to hold the iPad so I could use it as a teleprompter, and that's kind of what I found this to be useful for in the case like I don't have my friends or someone like holding up the camera and the teleprompter or whatever, the iPad. So over here I have my iPad mini 6th generation, and I've been using this as a teleprompter for whenever I do videos that are not at home where like I can't really access my computer to use a teleprompter on there. And I also use this for school and stuff, but yeah, that's all this is used for. I obviously like watch videos sometimes on it and like play some games, and I also have the Apple Pencil over there. And the next thing I have here is my PC where I do the editing. I was thinking of switching to a Mac after Premiere Pro has been giving me issues, but I'm kind of still able to deal with it, so it's probably fine. But I definitely do want to upgrade the RAM on this computer. But yeah, let's talk about it first. So over here, this has a Ryzen 7 3700X and a RTX 3060, and this has 16 gigs of DDR4 3200 RAM, and it has 2 SSDs. There's one M.2 SSD and another SATA SSD. I'm pretty sure there was a hard drive that was in here, but I think that died, so yeah, I can't really use that one now. But I think the SSD in there is probably like adequate enough for like the video, but I definitely do want to get a lot more storage so I can have more space for my video files, which are getting increasingly larger. I literally just checked my video file folder and was over 400 gigs, so yeah. Ignore all the dust here, I probably should clean it up later. The next thing I have here is the WD My Passport 1 terabyte hard drive, and I've been using it as just my whatever drive. Just like I've been using it to like store my Premiere Pro projects, the background music I use for the video, and just like other stuff, just like my thumbnails and stuff. I bought it in 2019 and it's really useful, and I'm kind of happy with it, although I definitely do want to get a lot more storage. So yeah, because I'm kind of filling up the space on basically almost all of the drives, so yeah. And for the rest of the setup, including the peripherals, I have this LG Ultra Gear 1080p 240Hz monitor. And then for the keyboard, I have a Razer Huntsman Mini with the clicky switches. And over here, I have a Logitech G502 Hero that I've been using since like 2 years ago. And for the headphones, I just use, I don't even know what these are or what like brand this is, but these honestly sound pretty good to me at least. And they're kind of okay for like whenever I edit. So I'm kind of happy with them, although I definitely do want to get a better pair sometime, but I'm kind of happy with these right now, although this is starting to break. I haven't ripped the whole thing out, so it's fine. Can definitely still use them. So for the goals I have for this channel, I want to improve my quality a lot more. Right now, I'm definitely in the process of doing it. Like, I've been using this camera now, figuring out everything I need to know about recording video with this camera, and like you can definitely tell kind of getting a little bit better at it, although I still need to learn a bit more. Like if you watch my cubing collection video that I recorded with this camera, literally the cube cubes were not in focus because I did not know about the minimum focus distance with this camera. But yeah, now that I figured that out, I'm definitely gonna figure it out because I already have a lighting rig or whatever where I want to set it up because of how small my room is right now. So we got that. And my second goal is I want to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the school year, and I graduate in June, and I want to get to 1K by the end of the year, and maybe also like 100 subs on my vlog channel. So hopefully I'm gonna be able to get there. And yeah, I want to be able to build up a really nice community. And now let's talk about the goals I have for cubing. And I think this is kind of gonna be aimed like towards the end of the year. I've already been competing in competitions a lot, but I want to start focusing more on getting faster, because like right now, every time someone asks me what I average, I always say I'm dub 20, like something between that, and like my solves are inconsistent. And my first goal is to get more consistent with solves, because I can get solves ranging from 15 to 19 seconds, over 20, sub 15, and sometimes even 10-second solves. But I want to get more consistent with that and be more consistent with sub 15, maybe even sub 10 by the end of the year. And for the second goal, translate that into competition performance, because right now I recently just broke my competition PR for the PR average, and it's not as good as what I have at home. So I definitely do want to work on comp nerves and figure out how to not be nervous during competition and actually turn well. The third goal I have here is to learn how to solve square one, or learn other puzzles, because although I did buy a square one and I did an unboxing of that at the end of the year last year before Christmas, I never learned how to solve square one because just looking at the algorithm, it was kind of too much for my brain to handle. But I feel like if I learn how to read the notation correctly, like I know how to read it off of it, just memorization is with that notation is kind of not really good with it. But I want to be able to learn how to solve it at least, and learn how to solve it without having to look up a tutorial each time I want to solve it. That is another goal I have here, and I think that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Hopefully I'm gonna be able to reach my goal of 1K by the end of this school year in June, and also my vlog channel goal of 100 subscribers by the end of the school year as well. So yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye.